The room was tense, the air thick with anticipation as David Jackson, administrator of the Federal Aviation Administration, stood tall and resolute, his presence radiating an authority that silenced every whisper. Before him sat Captain Rebecca Whitman, her once confident expression now crumbling under the weight of undeniable evidence. The complaints laid out on the table were damning, documented incidents of her mistreatment toward employees and passengers of color, her unfounded accusations and actions stemming from deep-rooted prejudice. Each word of the report struck like a bullet, shattering the reputation Whitman had spent years building and leaving her visibly shaken. Whispers spread quickly among the gathered officials and staff, their eyes cutting through her like sharp glass, as though each one was searching for her conscience, demanding an answer for the harm she had caused. Elijah stood silently beside his father, feeling a storm of emotions within him. Relief that the truth was finally spoken aloud, pride that justice was being upheld, yet sorrow that it had to come to this. He looked at his father, David Jackson, whose face was stern but whose calm and just eyes revealed a man who carried the weight of doing what was right for all, not just for his son. Unable to withstand the unbearable silence any longer, Captain Whitman's lips trembled as she tried to speak. "I'm truly sorry," she pleaded weakly, her voice cracking. "I never intended to hurt anyone. I was just too worried about safety. Please give me another chance." But David Jackson's response came swift and cold, his tone sharp yet measured. "Captain Whitman," he said firmly, "this is not the first time you've caused such an incident. Forgiveness is given only to those who truly acknowledge their wrongdoing and work to change. What you have shown here today proves the severity of your bias and the danger it poses to those who trust you. The aviation industry cannot and will not tolerate such behavior." His words echoed through the room like a judge's gavel, and the space fell into a tense, suffocating silence. He turned to the witnesses and officials, his voice resonant and commanding. "Let this be a lesson for all of us. Prejudice and discrimination have no place here, not in aviation, not anywhere." Elijah's chest swelled with pride as he realized just how much courage it took for his father to say those words in a room full of industry leaders. David Jackson's next words came like thunder, decisive and final. "As administrator of the FAA, I hereby suspend Captain Rebecca Whitman from duty, effective immediately. Her powers are revoked, and I request a full, comprehensive investigation into her professional ethics, her safety assessments, and every decision she has made in recent months. Until the conclusion of this investigation, she is prohibited from performing any flight duties." The words struck Captain Whitman like lightning, her face flushing red, then pale as if every drop of strength had been drained from her. She opened her mouth as though to speak, but no words came out, only a choked silence. Two security officers stepped forward, their expressions grave. "Captain Whitman, please come with us immediately." The captain's legs felt heavy, as though weighted with stones, as she took one slow, painful step after another. Around her, the pilots and crew who once respected her turned their faces away, disappointment written clearly in their eyes. There was no one left to defend her. Elijah felt an unexpected ache in his heart, not because he pitied Whitman, but because he now understood how heavy the cost of prejudice could be when its consequences came crashing down. As she disappeared through the door, the room remained silent, heavy with the memory of what had just transpired. David Jackson broke the stillness with steady professionalism, instructing FAA officials and Horizon Airlines leadership to cooperate closely and ensure a completely fair and transparent investigation. Heads nodded solemnly, the gravity of the moment settling on everyone present. Elijah stood tall, pride and admiration swelling in his chest as his father turned to him, his expression softening for the first time that day. He placed a strong, warm hand on Elijah's shoulder. "I'm proud of you, son," he said in a deep, reassuring voice. "You faced a very difficult situation with dignity and strength. Let this be a lesson you carry with you for the rest of your life. You will be stronger for it." Elijah swallowed hard, his heart too full to speak, but the gratitude in his eyes said everything. It was then that Captain Amara Johnson, a respected black female pilot known for her skill and advocacy for diversity in aviation, stepped forward with a warm, encouraging smile. "Elijah," she said gently, "I'm sorry you had to go through this. But I want you to know, this industry needs people like you. Young, passionate, and courageous. Come with me. Let me show you where you belong." Her invitation lit up Elijah's face, his earlier pain replaced with awe and excitement. With his father's approving nod, he followed Captain Johnson out of the lounge. As they walked down the long airport hallway, Elijah noticed the change in people's eyes. No longer did they look at him with suspicion or doubt. Now there were warm smiles, nods of respect, even quiet apologies from some of the staff who had once judged him unfairly. Justice, Elijah realized, was not just about punishing those who had wronged him. It was about restoring his dignity, clearing the cloud that had hung over his name, and giving him back the belief that he belonged. Captain Johnson shared stories from her career, recounting the challenges she had faced as one of the few black women in the cockpit, the times she had been underestimated, and the strength it took to keep going. "The best way to overcome prejudice," she said, her voice steady and kind, "is not through anger, but through excellence. Prove them wrong, not just by being equal, but by soaring higher than they ever expected." Her words struck deep in Elijah's heart. When they finally reached the cockpit of the Boeing 787, Captain Johnson smiled and rested her hand on his shoulder. "This," she said softly, "is where you belong. Don't ever let anyone make you believe otherwise. The sky is always wide enough for those who are brave enough to reach for it." Elijah's heart raced as he stepped inside, taking in the glowing screens and complex panels. In that moment, everything, the humiliation, the pain, the doubt, was washed away. He felt a fire ignite inside him, a renewed strength that told him his future was wide open. In the days that followed, David Jackson launched a nationwide initiative aimed at eradicating prejudice from aviation once and for all. He implemented new programs that gave young people from every background the chance to pursue careers in aviation, providing training, scholarships, and mentorships that emphasized equality, respect, and solidarity. Elijah became the face of this campaign, traveling to schools and community events, sharing his story with courage and passion. Each time he spoke, he reminded young listeners that injustice may try to silence you, but justice, when you fight for it, always finds its voice. "Diversity is our strength," he told them, his voice full of conviction. "Every dream deserves protection, and the sky is open for all who dare to fly." His words inspired countless young hearts, many of them with tears in their eyes, to believe that their dreams were possible no matter their background. Meanwhile, Captain Whitman faced the full consequences of her actions, losing her position and authority. Though painful, it served as a powerful reminder that no one is above accountability. Across the country, airlines and airports implemented sweeping reforms, investing in diversity training and re-evaluating their systems to ensure fairness for all. Elijah's story was no longer just about him. It became a story for everyone, a beacon of hope showing that courage and justice can transform pain into purpose. And as Elijah looked back on that difficult day, he knew that every step he now took was not just for himself, but for every person who had ever been silenced by prejudice. He would carry the torch of fairness, dignity, and respect forward, helping to build a future where everyone could stand tall, unafraid, and free to pursue their dreams.